Good morning, students. Today we will study about average income. Before starting with this topic, there are few points that need to be discussed. Students, remember in the last class we studied that total income is not such an useful measure of comparing countries, because we cannot compare countries with different population using total income. Now apart from that, there are other demerits too of using total income as a measure of development. Let us have a look at it. Point number 1. It doesn't ensure equality in income distribution. Suppose a country has a very high total income. That doesn't mean that everybody is earning a lot. There might be a possibility that a section is very rich, a section of people in that country is very rich, whereas a section is extremely poor. Point number 2. Money cannot buy necessities like social equality, job security, law and order, peace, etc. This point means that you might live in a country that has a high total income, but having a high total income will not ensure you social equality. There might be a possibility that in that country law and order are not properly maintained. So money is should not be the only criteria to compare countries. Number 3, countries having different population cannot be compared, and this we have already discussed. Number 4, other non-material requisites like health and education, if not available, income alone cannot ensure development. Now this point we will study in the later part of this chapter, where we will see that suppose if a place has more income but still if it lacks in these two fields as compared to the other state or other country, then that state or country cannot be considered as developed. Suppose your country has a very high total income, but then there are no proper health and education facility available in your country. So of course your country will not be developed. Basically it means that to compare countries, to compare the development of different countries, income is not the only criteria that should be taken to compare countries. Students, we have already discussed in the last class with the help of an example that for comparison between countries, total income is not such an useful measure, since countries with different population cannot be compared. And in order to avoid this problem, we use average income of a country, which is the total income of the country divided by its total population. Average income will tell us that on an average how much a person is earning in that particular country. Now this average income is also called per capita income. We'll discuss more about average income, and also we'll study about the demerit of using average income as a criteria to compare the development of a country. But then before that, there is this one topic that we need to discuss, and that topic is WDR, World Development Report. Now this report is issued by the World Bank that uses per capita income as a criteria to classify country as rich countries or low income countries. So according to this report that was published in 2016, countries with per capita income of $12,236 per annum and above are called rich countries. So we can say that according to this report, all those countries in which on an average a person is earning $12,236 per annum or more than that, those countries will be called as rich countries. Whereas all those countries in which on an average a person is earning $1,005 or less than that amount per annum will be called as low income countries. Also, according to this report, India comes in the category of low middle income countries because its per capita income in 2016 was just 1,840 US dollars per annum. Students, we discussed about total income and then we discussed its demerits. Then we also studied what average income is. But remember, while averages are useful for comparison, they also hide disparities. And this is the demerit of using average income as a criteria for comparison between countries. Let us understand this demerit with the help of an example. Now, as you all can see in this slide, let us consider two countries, that is country A and B. The average income of both the countries are same. We have studied that average income is equals to total income of a country divided by its total population. So for convenience, we have taken only 5 citizens. Now, what will be the average income of country A? Income of citizen 1 plus income of citizen 2 plus income of citizen 3 plus income of citizen 4 plus income of citizen 5 divided by 5. So the total income of country A will come as 50,000 and that divided by 5 will give you 10,000 and that will be the average income of country A. And the same formula to calculate average income will be applied for country B also. That is the total income, sum total income of all the 5 citizens divided by 5. That again will come as 10,000. Now, if I ask you all question that in which country you would prefer to live, most of us will prefer to live in country A. Why? Because country A has more equitable distribution of income. Some of us may like to live in country B if we are assured of being its 5th citizen. But if it is a lottery and decides our citizenship number, then perhaps most of us will prefer to live in country A. Now from this example we can conclude that even though both the countries have identical average income, that is 10,000, country A is preferred. Why? Because it has more equitable distribution. In this country, people are neither very rich nor extremely poor. That is in country A. On the other hand, most citizens in country B are poor and only one person is extremely rich. Hence, we can conclude that while average income is useful for comparison, it does not tell us how the income is distributed among people. All we know is that 10,000 is the average income and on average a person is earning 10,000. But we don't know that who is earning rupees 500 and who is earning rupees 4,800. So basically average income hides disparities. This image is from your NCERT book and it is the same example that we have already discussed in the previous slide. Now students, here are 2 questions from your NCERT book. Let us have a look at it. So the first question is that why do you think that average income is an important criteria for development? Explain. So the answer will be, now students, average income is an important criteria because it tells us what on average a person is likely to earn and also gives us some idea about the rising standard of living. National income does not give us an idea of the share of the income likely to be received by the people of the country, one person of the country, for spending, whereas average income gives us an average idea of spending. Suppose earlier the PCI of a country was rupees 5 but now it has increased to rupees 10. So we can say that with time people are earning more and have a comparatively better standard of living. Now students, we have studied that the prosperity of a country depends not only on its total income but also on the number of people who share it. So if the number of people is large, then the average income will be less. The second question is, besides size of per capita income or the amount of per capita income, what other property of income is important in comparing two or more countries? Now let us look at the answer. So students, we have discussed that average income hides disparities, that is the demerit of average income. So along with average income, equitable distribution of income in a country should also be considered when comparing two or more countries. So that's all for today's class, students. Today we studied about average income. The demerit of average income, that it hides disparities. We studied this demerit of average income with the help of an example. Now here are a few questions for your assignment. Please write down the answer of the first two questions in your copies, and question number 3 you will do in your book. That's all for today's class. Thank you, students.